Protests across Chicago on Saturday with more expected as ICE looks to ramp up crackdown efforts. This as President Trump traded barbs with Illinois Governor Pritzker on social media about the enforcement operations. Senior correspondent Mike Tobin is live in Chicago with the latest. Hello, Mike.
Operations have not. Three different protests took place yesterday. Yesterday evening, we saw hundreds gather in Millennium Park. A lot of the usual actors that we see at different protests. And the reason for that is 11 different groups that often protest around the city of Chicago came together under the umbrella of the Coalition Against the Trump Agenda. So they were focused on the Trump agenda, but you saw people protesting everything from the Palestinian cause to trans rights. They marched around the city without major incident. There was another protest that formed up in Broadview, and that is because an ICE processing facility is being set up there on a temporary basis. There were also protests at the Naval Station north of Chicago, and that is where ICE is largely headquartering, or certainly they're using that as a logistical hub. The whole thing was inflamed yesterday by a post on Truth Social from President Trump, in which he channeled Robert Duvall from the movie Apocalypse Now, saying, "I love the smell of deportation in the morning." That triggered the ire of Illinois Democrats who had all sorts of negative things to say about that particular post. So while all the protests are going on, we still haven't seen major ICE operations. What we did see yesterday, 2 homicides and 5 people were shot in the city of Chicago since noon yesterday. Mike, back to you.
Mike, heard about the pushback from officials there in Chicago about the federal surge perhaps in the Windy City. What's your take on all of it?
Look, that we're calling for, and President Trump is straightening that out. I can tell you, I finally got back to D.C. last week and could see a marked difference in what has happened with the National Guard providing logistics, providing a presence, providing a deterrent value for the people of Washington, D.C. And now the people of Chicago would be well served to have at least the National Guard help with some of these logistics operations, although it's a little bit of a sticky issue for President Trump to use this, to do this without the consent of the mayor and obviously the local officials. But look who's protesting. It's the same old Democrat, far left protesting groups that are opposing